Hey everyone, and welcome to Stryder Hearthstone. The ideal start for Milhouse has always been to find a token generator on turn 1 so that you can sell the token and buy a second tier 1 minion. Turn 2 as Milhouse has always been a very flexible turn for me, as sometimes I'll sell a minion in order to Tavern up, and other times I'll buy 2 minions with the 4 gold. It really kind of depends on what's being offered to me. In this case, I saw the pair, and since I already have 1 Murloc on the board, I figured I'll take the other 2 Murlocs as well. Going Murlocs as Milhouse is generally not a great strategy just because it costs 2 gold free to refresh the Tavern, so oftentimes you'll run out of gold trying to find the Murlocs you need to buff your board. In this case, the Murlocs do have a lot of attack for an early game minion, so I will keep them around until I can find a better replacement, or if I just so happen to stumble across more Murlocs, but I'm not going to spend too much gold forcing Murlocs and trying to roll for more Murlocs. As Milhouse in the early game, you need to be very flexible with what is being offered to you in the shop, and you can't really afford to spend too much gold refreshing the Tavern. It's not the strongest, but it'll fight hard. I'm going to tier up and discover a tier 5 minion instead, in hopes of finding a Brand, Begurgle, or Primal Fin Lookout for my Murlocs, or finding a Voidlord for my Juggler. I find that the ideal games to pick Millhouse Manastorm is when Dragons, Beasts, and Pirates are all in the game. With Dragons, if you can find an early game Caligos, no one else can scale up the Dragons as fast as Milhouse can. With Pirates in the game, there's the battle cry that lets you reduce your Tavern tier by 1, and there's also the Pirate that sells for 3 gold. Both of these cards give Milhouse massive tempo plays. And finally, with Beasts in the game, if you can find some early game Rabid Swordless, those are super easy to buff with Milhouse's hero power. So as Milhouse, you don't really want to fall behind in getting to tier 4, just because at that point you do get an extra minion on the board and increases the chances of you finding something that you need without refreshing. Since buying minions only costs 2 gold with Milhouse's hero power, I'll often spend gold buying minions that are only situationally useful, or that may only be useful to me down the road. So this could include buying Khadgar for a future Murloc transition, buying a 1/3 unstable ghoul to fight mech boards, or buying pairs of minions in hopes of finding a golden. Unless I'm really trying to find one specific minion that I really need for my board, typically refreshing the board for 2 gold is just very inefficient as Milhouse.
Another satisfied customer.
I really like playing as Milhouse when I can find Rabbit Soreless or crowd favorites, just because cycling battle cries and death rattles is just super easy to do with Milhouse.
Everyone's gunning for you. Watch out!
The decision to Tavern up to tier 5, however, I feel is a bit more discretionary, and that's based on how you're doing relative to your lobby. If you're a little bit stronger, you can get there a little bit faster. However, if you are weaker, it is okay to stay on those lower tiers for a little bit longer in order to strengthen your board and make sure you don't die.
Let's see if you can stay on top. Nice work out there. Keep up the pressure.
So one of the downsides of playing Milhouse is that when you get to Tavern tier 5, it becomes more difficult to naturally find minions in the shop that can improve your board without rolling. So at this point, you do end up spending a little bit more gold rolling and trying to find those minions that you need.
Everyone's gunning for you. Watch out! You're good at this. Everyone's gunning for you. Watch out!
Oftentimes when I'm playing Milhouse, I will end up in situations where I have 5 to 6 cards in my hand that I'm just holding on to. If I really need the gold on a future turn, I can decide to sell them instead, and they only cost me 2 gold to buy, and I can sell them for 1 gold.
Your minions really pulled their weight. Exactly what you were looking for.
I'm picking up the Mal'Ganis in favor of the Coiler just because the Coiler has a lot of variance, whereas the Mal'Ganis is very consistent with my Voidlords and my Demons. I also considered selling my 12-9 Divine instead of my Coiler, however I like having the extra taunt there just as another target to hit to increase the chances that I can get full value off of my Voidlord spawns.
Your minions really pulled their weight.
I considered selling my 12-9 Divine Shield here in favor of playing the Zap, however I was at 40 health, I wasn't going to die, and I just wanted to find out first if there was anything I needed to zap anyways.
Everyone's gunning for you. Watch out.
Since they nerfed Milhouse a couple months back, this has been my first perfect game with him. If you have any other tips and tricks for playing Milhouse, leave it down in the comments below.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button down below, and if you want to see new videos being uploaded every week, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.